Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon or good evening depending on when and where you're watching this, and welcome or welcome back to the Knit Crochet Read Repeat podcast channel. This is a podcast episode, would you believe it? It's been a long time coming. I am in the midst of Tour de Fleece recording at the moment, so anything that's going on with Tour de Fleece I will not be showing in this video, but there is some things that have been on the channel before in the video where I was like trying to get stuff finished, and there's also stuff you've never seen before, so isn't that exciting? We have, I want to say, like, so much to get through, but we don't. Like, we actually don't. It just, I know I have a lot of projects because I recently went through them. If you watch that video, I've got 20 projects on the go, and that was really beginning to overwhelm me. And I also wanted to cast on so many new things, and so I'd kind of set myself that challenge of get stuff finished, then you can maybe cast something new on. So let's see. I don't really have much in the way of crocheting. What I do have, it is finished objects. So we may as well get that out the way first of all. So you've already seen this little one, but this is from Pica-Pau, and this is Pedro Vondito. This is Pedro Vondito. The only thing I did not do for Pedro Vondito was his little rubber rings. You can see his curly cute tail, his lopsided snout and smile, but he is still really, really cute. I'm so glad that I got this done. I really love the aesthetic of all the Pica-Pau like projects, every single one of them. I've got ones that were on Hobby. I want to say Hobby, like their website. They were listed for free, and then I have all 3 of the Pica-Pau books. So there's definitely going to be more amigurumi on my horizon. And then keeping with the crochet, we have the sleeping dragon, even though his eyes are wide awake. And this is, oh goodness, this is him right here. Is he in focus? Is he not in focus? He is not in focus. Come on, camera. Let's see. There we go. There's a focus now. So this guy took me a long time to finish. For no particular reason. I just got so caught up in other projects. But he is really, really cute. He sits on my bookshelf. I did not put wire in his wings at all. I decided that I didn't. This really was meant to be a test run of this pattern to see what I thought, in the chance that I would be making one for a friend. And that all just kind of went to the wayside a little bit. The project took me so long to make. It's very fiddly, pernickety for some parts of it. Like, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy the project, and if I wasn't for the fact I'm recording on my phone, I would bring up the name of the designer, but I will link everything in the description box below, and when I'm editing I will put the name of the designer down here. In general, I did enjoy this pattern. I love the finished piece. I just didn't really like all the little pernickety, fiddly little pieces. So, for example, if I tuck his wing in, like that, his scales, thankfully, were all done in one long kind of chain, and then you just have to sew it down the body. And then you have a lot of choices when it comes to how you are going to kind of decorate them and finish them. So you get 2 different types of horns. You get things to go around the eyes. You've got I want to say gills, but I don't think that's right, because I would think gills and I think fish. And then you can do a different tail, like the different tip of the tail, different ears. I'm not sure you can do different like back scales. Don't remember that one exactly. The pattern is so detailed though. It's a fabulous pattern. It just got to the point where I just didn't want to work on it. And there was just, I don't know. I didn't. I'm glad he's done though. He looks really pretty, but I won't be making another one. Okay, let's move on to finished knitting. And first up, I have my still unblocked, still got ends to weave in Toaster Tea. So this is by Rebecca Clow or the Crochet. I knit this in Drops Bell. I knit mine, I want to say almost 9 full balls of yarn it took, because I ended up going down like a couple of different needle sizes, and I think up a couple of sizes, and I put increasing in once I hit the waist. I don't like things really tight on my tummy. I don't have a small tummy, and I wanted to eliminate the chance of it kind of like soaking in around my stomach and kind of highlighting that. So I done a bunch of increasing. I also made my sleeves a little bit longer. I wanted them to cover my bingo wings, and I have not had the chance to wear this out. Personally, I am struggling in this heat because Scotland is in our second heat wave, and I do not think a garment this thick, that's my own doing, because again I went for a much tighter gauge. It also feels heavy. I just don't think I could wear this right now. I might have been able to wear like a 4-ply t-shirt, but this is DK, and even if it is like a mix of, I want to say, cotton and linen. Don't quote me on that one. This is why I'm a bad podcaster. But even with the mix of the content in the yarn for a summer yarn, I just think with my body type and my hatred of heat, wearing it is just not going to do well. I'm going to overheat, I'm going to be sweaty, it's not going to be pretty, and so I've not tried to wear it. I'm hoping once we maybe hit mid-August, it may get a little cooler. I do find it funny though that people pay really good money for the weather that we've been having in Scotland, and I would pay good money for it to be 10 degrees less than it is. But yeah, it will get warm, and by then I will have taken the time to weave in the ends and block it, but for now that's just not in the cards. Next up are a pair of socks for my mama bear. Come on, there we go. The yarn is lovely to look at. It's maybe just not the nicest to work with. The yarn is by Regia, and you can see there that there are 2 plies to this yarn, and it isn't it's spun well, it's plied well, but it is also very easy to split the ply and maybe only catch like half of the strand. So maybe say you'd catch the yellow strand, but you wouldn't have got the purple, or yeah, I'm going to call it purple. I nearly said maroon, but it's not nearly red enough. I have 2 other balls of this yarn, and I will use it because, again, it is a lovely yarn. The results are, I keep saying lovely, but the results are nice. Like, it does make a lovely fabric. I just think next time I'm going to utilize using stitch markers more. And what I mean by that is I'm going to be using them to mark every 10 rounds on the leg and then on the foot once I have completed the decreases for the gusset. And I do think that would make it a lot easier because reading this yarn, I'm normally really good at reading my fabric, my knitted fabric. And I'm not gloating when I say that. It is what it is. But this yarn made it very difficult to read the fabric because of the 2-ply. And when you get, so specifically if we look here, it can get a little tricky counting your stitches when the ply starts to transition. So that's the only thing I think I would change. I would maybe go up a needle size. The yarn did feel just a little thicker. So if these don't fit my mum, I won't be too gutted because I did go with my normal needle size for me, but I went up a sock size from my mum. So normally I do my mum on a 2.5mm needle with 68 stitches, whereas I done these on 2.25 with 72 stitches. Can you get up, Oogie? Go up via the cushion. I'm in the bad books with the cat. You can do it. Come on. Up you go. Don't thwack your tail. Yeah, I'm in the bad books. We're not long back from the vet. Very expensive vet bill. Not horrific. Like, it was less than £100, but for 2 medications, like, that's a lot of money. But yeah, I'm in the bad books. She does not do well, as do most cats. Do not do well with car journeys. I'm gonna stop and cough. By stopping and coughing, I was able to grab a drink, help Oogie get up so that she can watch the world. Although her jumping up onto her cat tree, you just see plumes of cat fur. So anyway, what was I saying? Yes, normally what was that noise? My goodness, what a squirrel moment. Normally I would do my mum's socks in a 2.5, 68 stitches, but like I said, these were on 2.25 with 72 stitches. So they should fit, but I think for next time with this yarn in particular, I would go to a 2.5. Not sure if I'd do 68 stitches though. I think I might go up for sorry, I got a message through my phone that's distracted me. I'm not sure if I would go with 68 stitches or 72. I guess it depends who they're being made for. I know one of the colours is more like a sky blue with pale pinks and lilacs and stuff in it. And then I legit don't remember what the other colour is at all. I do thankfully, however, though, have most of my stash. I say most of it because there was the stuff I got when I was off for my surgeries, the fibre spates yarn I bought, and then the yarn I got from Marcus of Fiberpunk that have not made it onto my stash yet. That's it. That's all. So I know the other ones are in my stash on Ravelry. I just need to take the time to look. So that is my 4th finished object. And I'm pretty darn happy about that. So I'm only going to show 3 works in progress. And I'm wondering if there was meant to be more. let me take a quick look around. I have struggled to knit or crochet recently because of the heat. And then I rediscovered's not the right word, but my attention was brought back to a project that's nice and small, fairly portable, but also still a blanket. So, can I reach that? Oh, there goes all my fibre. So, I have been working on squares for my Radvent blanket. Come on, focus. There we go. The Radvent blanket is by Amber O'Brien. I started this blanket in 2024. That's so bad. I genuinely don't remember. Like, my memory is awful. Absolutely awful. And I got 24 squares done. Not sure what happened to the 25th. Maybe there wasn't a 25th. But I got 24 squares done and I put it all together, and then I made the decision that it just wasn't big enough. It'd be great lap blanket because I sit cross-legged 95% of the time. And so it was okay for covering my lap. But Scott isn't able to sit cross-legged for nearly as long as I can. Again, not gloating, just a fact. And then there's the times where I don't want to sit cross-legged or it's getting a bit sore for me. And then inevitably, I will get to a point where I'm able to sit cross-legged less and less. So, before the surgeries, before the quervins, which is tendonitis in your thumbs, I had 13 squares done and ready to go onto this blanket. And I needed at least 18. I have since completed those 18. So on here is the newer ones. And then, shockingly, here was the blanket. I may have decided to unravel the joins and take it back to individual squares so that I can try and join them better. I really was not happy with the join I had, and I also still have so many ends. Like, none of these ends have been woven in whatsoever. So yeah, the blanket got essentially ripped back at the weekend there. I think it was Sunday I'd done it. And I'm really glad I've done it. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I wanted to get all the squares done before I ripped everything back. So now all the joins are done, or all the joins have been removed. On this table, even though it's out of focus, where my finger is all the little small balls of yarn that were the seams, the joins. So the only thing I need to do is just stretch this last one. I did take out one of the original squares in the blanket. My friend Amy ever so kindly sent me the yarns for all of these, and only one of them was more of a woolly wool. And I let Scott touch it, and he's like, "Oh!" His whole face was comical for me personally, and I was like, "Hey, can you feel this? Let me know what you think." Because personally, I'm not good with woolly wools. I find them very scratchy. They actually hurt the skin, like on my back, and I haven't actually tried it on my leg, to be fair, where the blanket would be. But if it ended up being wrapped around my shoulders, I would feel it. I'm assuming you heard that. If you didn't, it was a motorbike. or a scooter. Could have been a scooter, like a Vespa. So yes, I had him feel the woolly wool, and he was just like, no, thank you. And so I have re-knit in a different yarn. So I did do one extra than I originally needed, only to replace it. So I need to get this blocked out. I just do a dry block, like I just literally stretch it on this square. So that will go on there tonight. It will go on there literally after I finish recording. And then probably Saturday, I am going to start putting this blanket back together. I'm going to start weaving in the ends. I'll take a couple of squares a day and I will weave in all these lovely, fun, I'm being sarcastic, ends. And then come the weekend, I will hopefully be able to sew it together this time. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of trying to find like an invisible sewing way to do it rather than a crochet way. But we'll see. Also, by doing it sewing, I'm going to use less yarn than I would had I decided to do another crochet join. Because I am working with limited yarn. And I can't get any more because it was not from the UK. I don't know where they got it from, and I've lost the ball bag. Okay. Second work in progress is another blanket. And the ball of yarn is still attached. So this is my, I keep changing the order of the words, but it's still the same project. This is my Scrappy Sock Stripe Blanket. You may remember this. And because I chop and change which side I start on, I don't know. I think this column here you've not seen. So this is all commercial sock yarn. It's all scraps. And I honestly am not quite sure how big this blanket is going to get because of how I've started and stopped my rows. So that's a bind. Is that bind off or bind on? Which one's stretchier? That's my bind off, like that's my cast on. That's my bind off. That's my cast on. And then at the opposite side is my bind off. And then vice versa, and it continues that way. It's why I've got a seam here, but not a seam here because it's on the reverse. I hope that makes sense. So I'm alternating. So I'll go down and then I'll go back up, and then I'll go down, and then I'll go back up. And each end I cast off and start again, and then cast on, cast off at the top, so on and so forth. There is method to my madness. And the reason is my cast on is tighter than my cast off. So let's double that over. They're doubled right at the corner. And let's see. You see that? That's my cast on, the blue one in the front. The grey one in the back is the cast off. So cast on in the front, cast off in the back. And the grey is far stretchier. I know it's not quite in focus, but even with it a little bit bloody, you can tell the grey is stretchier. And so by having alternating cast off, cast on, cast off at each end, it means that technically it should have the same stretch at each end. See, even just like look at this, the row right by my eyes compared to the one over here. Look at the width difference. So, method to the madness. This project hasn't been worked on in a while, but it did get some loving. It got a good, like, I got a full column on it at one point that you hadn't seen. So it's had some love. But to be fair, I have been trying to pick up projects that are going to be really fast finishes so that I can get them done and off the needles or the hooks or whatever. Just still in my process of trying to reduce my projects. That, the scrappy scrappy blanket, that's like just a kind of like partially made up project. I've been seeing a lot of people doing, I think it's like the jelly roll or something. And I think it was during a point where I just really wasn't able to buy patterns. And I thought that would be a great way to use up scraps. And so I just picked a number for casting on, picked how I wanted to do my join for each column, and just went with it from there. So it is a made up pattern, but it's fairly simple to put together. You just pick a number you want for the width of your columns, knit however long you want, and then for me, again, I would go from casting off to then casting on and joining and working down the way rather than all working in one direction. Next up on the WIP list, this has received some love. And it's received some love because I want it finished. Like, I would love to have this as a cardigan. But it also, oh, I've just found another area where I've caught half the yarn. So let's get a stitch marker in there and we can go back and reinforce it. I've got one other stitch marker for where I've noticed the yarn has split. So this is the Ultra Cardigan by Skein, and I like completely omitted out the colour work. Wish I hadn't now, like it really would have helped me for counting the rows. But I just wanted a simple vanilla cardigan, especially for my first steeking project. Now, where the yellow marker is not where I last picked it up or last showed you. Just bear that in mind. So, not this yellow marker, this one here on the front. This is being knit in Rowan Valley tweed. My ball bands are upstairs and I'm not running upstairs to get them. I want to say Rowan Valley tweed, and I am working with this really lovely maroon with speckles throughout it. The speckles are mostly kind of like red or beige. There's nothing like outrageous. There's some areas in the maroon ply where it's almost black, honestly. And I'm absolutely fine with that. I do like black clothing, darker clothing. I am onto the third ball of, I want to say 7, but only really just into that third ball. This is working up slowly. I don't know what it is about this project, but every now and again it makes my thumb feel a little tender, iffy. My technical terminology is on point as usual. Yeah, the muscle here, whatever this is, the squishy part, this is where the quervins can be when you basically get tendonitis in your thumbs. And I don't know if I'm still working back the strength of that, because that healed and I was kind of done with that back in January. But then I never really got fully back into like full on knitting because of the carpal tunnel and then the 2 carpal tunnel surgeries. So I don't know if it's my hands going, whoa, 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 what's going on here? We've not really been used since October. Like, what's going on. So I'm taking it nice and slow. It is a project that I will pick up and go because it is just plain knitting, with the exception of 2 purl stitches. That's it, just 2. It is just plain knitting, round and round and round. And then my purl stitches are part of the steek that's going to be right here. So there's a purl stitch there and then a purl stitch there. So yeah, I am just working on the body just now. I could pick up and start the sleeves. I'd need to check what needle size I've got. I don't know if I've got... I should have needles on a small circumference for that size. I could reach behind me, but to be fair, my trolley is rotated away, so I won't be having easy access to a needle gauge. But yes, I do want this project finished. I'm really not sure why these stitches look all pulled out. Do you guys see that? Right here. I'm not sure why these look all, like, not elongated, but definitely wider. I'm not sure what happened there. I might need to kind of tug at those and see if I can get that to tighten up just a little bit. But I'm also keeping an eye on do you remember when I grabbed this when I picked it up? I was like, oh, there's a stitch that has been split. I need to get a stitch marker on it. Yeah, I had the yellow one on it and then I put the blue one on literally as I picked this up and started talking about it. So I could probably take that blue one off now. Oh, kudos for me for trying. But apparently Past Me was on the ball with that one. But yeah, if you are feeling brave enough to try steeking, and from what I've heard, it's just kind of getting over that, like the initial, oh my god, I'm going to cut my knitting. Maybe we can have a steek project together. I have never done steeking before, and I've decided to jump straight in and work on a garment, because why not? Why not spend utter hours working on something to then possibly absolutely screw it up? Okay. That is all the whips done. I'm going to get myself comfy. I'm going to have a wee drink. That's all the whips done. That is all the finished objects done as well. I am now going to talk about something I hardly ever talk about, and that is cross stitch. I finished not 1, but 2 cross stitch projects, and I am over the moon with both of them. I haven't done anything with them. I've not finished them. I certainly haven't sent them off to a framer because I just don't have that kind of money. What I am going to try and do though is learn to frame it by myself. Hopefully using YouTube or web pages, whatever information I can get my hands on. But here's the first one. I don't know if you're in focus. I really hope so. Apologies if it's not. This, I knew the name of this designer, but then I thought about it and now I don't know the name of the designer. I'll put the name and the details in the description box below, and hopefully just running along here on screen. But this is the reader. It can be very difficult to actually see that text. On camera, it looks great. In person, it is subtle. And the only thing I missed were some, it's not even back stitching, at least what I saw does not look like backstitching, but there is 1, 2, 3 lines of black that are meant to go through this smut to break up the letters, and that's it. That's the only thing I did not put in. And this is going to my sister once I try my darndest at trying to frame this by myself. And I do have quite a bit of Ada left on this, and I don't know if I can maybe try get one here. I'm gonna pause and cough again. Honestly, hay fever sucks. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of Ada left on this one, and I'm wondering if I could get one this way and still have enough like empty space for framing. So yeah, there's that. And then the next one I'm even more ecstatic about. This one I had no intentions of starting, especially when I did, but it basically flew off the hoop when I was done. It took me just over a week to complete this cross stitch, which is insane to me given the length of time it's taken other cross stitch projects. But wow. This is by Lola Crow. And it's just so awesome. Again, I will put all the details down below, the name of the pattern, everything. I picked this up as a paper pattern when I was in Vegas. In cross stitchers heaven. Like, if I can find the name of the shop again, I will put it down here. But I was honestly in cross stitchers heaven, and I spent probably, I think it was around $300 in that store, and all I got was patterns. That's it. All I got was patterns, because I do find it hard to find designers with the aesthetic I'm looking for. I don't do horror. I do not do horror. I like cutesy Halloween though. Now I'm not talking summerween. I don't like summerween. The only thing I like is a juice cup my sister's holding on to for me. But yeah, I have an aesthetic I'm looking for when it comes to house decor, which then falls into cross stitch. And this store basically had everything I was looking for. Some things sadly they didn't have, but I got what I could. And yeah, it was about $300 worth of patterns that I paid for. And I don't regret it. Like, I saved up for that holiday knowing I was going to the shop, and three yarn shops, 2 yarn shops, and a bookshop. But I knew I wasn't going to bring many books home because, you know, the weight of your suitcase. So yeah, that is my cross stitch projects. I am over the moon with them. I would love to actually get one kitted up and maybe start a new one. It's just something a bit different. But I don't know if I count that in my current trying to get my projects down. I don't have a cross stitch project on the go at the moment to complete it, but I still feel like I just have too many knitting and crochet projects on the go to start a cross stitch project, if that makes sense. Some people might think that's a bit ridiculous. Anyway, I didn't go, sorry, rustle, noise. I have bought a couple of things since I last recorded a podcast episode. Whatever, like, I think that was an EV car going past, and they just have such weird noises. I do have yarn. I got 2 skeins of fibre spates of 4-ply. If you are on Instagram, you can go and see my Instagram picture about it. And I got 2 braids of fibre. I want to say that was in May I got those. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Marcus of Fibrepunk had a shop update, and I got a couple of skeins from him. And I think I've done like a Instagram reel or something about those. So again, if you're on Instagram, you can go on and see those. But I got books. I got one knitting book and 2 crochet books. So this is Seasons of Stitches by Justina Lorkowska. And honestly, I bought this for one pattern. I got this from Shop Beyond Measure, which is a store in the UK. I don't know if it's a bricks and mortar shop or not. But there are some really gorgeous patterns in this book. I am so sorry for all the breaks in this video, but I keep needing to cough. I may have hay fever, but it's not going to stop me having the windows open to let in the cooler air. So yes, I technically bought this book for one pattern, but I did check through Ravelry what other projects were in it, and there are certainly other things in this booklet that I would cast on, but my preference would be to start this one as soon as possible. I think this is so interesting. I follow Justina on Instagram. I have done for years. And she used this cardigan to put out like a series of photos or something. I can't quite remember what it was. And I seen that cardigan and I was like, I need that. I want to cast that one. And it's intrigued me so much because if you look at it, you knit this chevron, waves. What's the terminology for that kind of pattern again? Does it say chevron? Yeah, I was right, chevron. You knit the chevron band first, and then you pick up and you do the shoulders and the neckband. Then you pick up at the other side and you do the sleeves and the body. And I just think that's so interesting. Like, what a really interesting construction. And how cool would it be to play with colour with that chevron section? Here's a photo from the back. Like, isn't that just lovely? It's so, in my opinion, that's so unique. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. So check out Seasons of Stitches. You can technically find this on Ravelry, and it will show you like a breakdown of all the patterns. That's how I kind of check if I'm going to spend the money on it or not. And then Amazon got me good. Amazon targeted me real good in their email saying, we found something you might like. And damn, they were not wrong. They got me so freaking good. And this is Aquatic Amigurumi by Natasha Tinschenko. So this is book 1. And this is book 2. Oh, they got me so good with these. I almost want to make everything in this book. I don't really care about this squid. I think there are better squid patterns online, no offense. But they got me with this guy here. And there are, let's see, does it break it down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. At least 16 patterns in this one. And again, I used Ravelry to see all of them. And the reason I say 16 is to see like all these little small pieces. That is part of the book as well, and I'm not counting each and every single one of those. But yeah, I got with this one. And then when I went on to see the Amazon listing, I then saw that there was a book too, and I definitely got with this one. Like, how amazing is that? And there are some other really awesome ones in this book as well. I wonder if it's also 16. 15 in this one. And there's just some really fun ones in this one as well. And again, I checked Ravelry to see what all the designs were and if they were up my alley, because sometimes when you see a book, especially like a knitting or a crochet book on Amazon, it only gives you like 2 pages, if that. It might only show you actually like the front page, and nothing in the listing breaks down any of the other patterns. So I always check before I spend right now, because money is tight. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of amigurumi on my horizon, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited to get it done. I am really excited to get this blanket worked on and hopefully finished. Everything just takes a little bit of time. And like I said earlier on, we are in peak Tour de Fleece season, and I am really motivated to spin. I have a whole new cart behind me with all my spinning stuff on it. Scott is not too happy about that because it's another thing in the living room, even though I have a cart here. But it just makes it so much easier, and I have the setup now that I'm comfortable with the height of my spinning, which makes it way more enjoyable. So yeah, I just have so much that I want to work on and nowhere near enough time. But isn't that most crafters' problems? Like, I reckon nearly all of us could say that. Sorry, I'm getting a wee tickle in the back of my throat, so it doesn't help. I actually haven't taken an antihistamine today, but that's my own fault. I was so busy trying to make sure I got Oogie to the vet, and I think she's forgiven me now. Maybe. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a long time since I actually released a podcast video. I don't know if Monday vlogs are going to be coming back, to be very honest. I have mentioned this on other videos, but I may or may not be losing my Monday off. I have asked to increase my hours back in work, and I might go into kind of like some of the reasons later on. Oogie, is there a bug in here? Is that what your laser pointed eyes are on? I hope not. I don't do bugs. But yes, I've asked to increase my hours, and I've got a meeting about that on Wednesday. But if they don't let me increase my hours, I'm going to try and do 4 hours on a Monday, because I actually work 9 until 6, which is a very long day. I know there are people out there that do much longer. I'm thinking of like nurses and doctors and stuff, but I have been struggling to work the 9-6 since I came back from my surgeries. And I don't know if it's because my body is still healing. I don't know if it's because I've just kind of hit that limit with working 9-6, because I've been doing that now for over, was it 2023 I asked to do this, or 2024 I asked to do it? I don't know. It's been at least a year, probably 2, that I've been working 9 till 6, and I think my body's just kind of gone, no, too long a day. Oh, can't cough. Don't want to. I must have looked so stupid doing that there. That's twice now I've done that on camera, where I've went to cough and then go, "You've got a microphone on." But yeah. Oh my goodness. My brain is fried. It has been a long couple of months. Some of it you'll never know what's been going on, because it's not my story to tell. Some of it will be ongoing for another couple of months until things get sorted out that I have no control over. but it's causing significant stress to me and a lot of other people. And yeah, sometimes I don't have it in me to craft. Sometimes it's all I want to do. And I love those days. I really love those days. And so, with that being said, I really want to get spinning. I have a really awesome day from the World of Wool advent calendar that was meant to be for Christmas just gone. I got a really awesome one that made me chuckle today when I read it and opened it up, that I am just desperate to get spinning on. And so, with that, I have blathered on, taken up enough of your time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for sticking with me, waiting for these sorts of videos. I have reached over 200 subscribers, and I know it's less than my old channel, but I think a lot of the people on the old channel are not actually around anymore to watch, and so starting from scratch was really good. So thank you again. Thank you so much for joining me, for watching, for commenting, for liking, all of that good stuff. I hope you will continue to stick with me as we finish and wrap up Tour de Fleece, and as I try really hard to get these projects down so that I can just start all the amigurumi. Between Pika Pow and Natasha Tischenko, Tischenko. Yes, I say H, not H. H. You can thank my sister for that one. Yes, so Natasha is also Natura_crochet on, I'm assuming, Instagram, but maybe also TikTok. Don't quote me on that one. I have not checked. So yeah. I've tried to log off, wrap this up 3 times now, so bye! Happy crafting! Thank you for watching, and until my next video, stay safe. Bye everyone.